Welcome back to BLOCKTV. It's time now for Crypto Globe, our chance to take a look all around the crypto sphere to see where the biggest stories around the world are happening. And of course, as it stands right now, there is no story bigger. The news coming out of China announced last week that President Xi Jinping said that his country will be embracing blockchain technology. Now, what this means for the future of blockchain and the crypto sphere inside and outside China remains to be seen. But to help us get that inside perspective, we're joined now by Flex Yang, CEO of Babel Finance, here to break us down and join us from Beijing to give us that internal perspective. So firstly, Flex, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us on BLOCKTV.
Thanks.
All right, so to kick things off, Flex, as someone in Beijing, what do you think of President Xi's announcement about blockchain technology?
It's also a big surprise for us that there's such a movement from the top leadership. Very few people can really expect that. And I think we should put this in the background of China and the US trade war and competitions, especially the Libra plan. Libra is having big trouble in US. It encounters a lot of pressure from US legislators and the regulators. But it definitely speeds up China's determination to roll out its own digital currency. I think under this background, we see this big movement of the leadership attitude towards blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies.
All right, I mean, but we see... oh, please continue.
Yeah, we saw lots of comments recently, and very important, interesting comments from Chongqing's former mayor, Wang Qifan. He mentioned that Libra is not going to be successful. So I think the major background of this release and this announcement is actually from the pressure of the global movements in the cryptocurrency like Libra, this kind of thing.
Certainly, it does seem that there is a sort of push to drive with blockchain technology there. But I suppose I want to ask, I mean, we've had this announcement, but announcements don't always translate to action. Are you seeing a real change in the way businesses are reacting, even already? And are more businesses already talking about taking up blockchain development there inside China?
We see, actually from recently, only a weekend has passed, and we only see lots of public companies saying they actually have plans to blockchain technology. The only reaction now is only the price surge of those stocks that they have with those stocks that have plans to do blockchain technology, but. We also, apart from the price surge of the stock, we also noticed lots of new movements from the state-owned companies. For example, yesterday, the China Merchant Bank International, a Hong Kong-based company, announced their investment into BitPay, most popular wallets in China. And today we see a screenshot leak from ICBC, the biggest bank in the world. They have a digital currency wallet. We see lots of developments here, but from the announcement to the real action, we know it's a long way to go. But we are expected to see lots of new developments in this area. And for us, Babel Finance, we also has planned to actually establish some Chinese company to do the blockchain technology. So it's a long way to go, but lots of company has reacted already.
And you would say, I mean, in terms of running Babel Finance, running your own business, you're optimistic about the prospects and the new opportunities that this offers your business and your company inside China?
Yeah, we will have a domestic company to actually focus on the blockchain technology rather than digital currency, because we only see these kind of announcements, but we don't really know what will be the real attitude towards the blockchain technology and the digital currency or cryptocurrencies. We just want to try.
Yes, certainly that air of opportunity is out there. We'll have to see how it reacts. But one thing that does seem more certain is the releasing of the digital renminbi, which has been long spoken about by the Chinese government. When do you think, what timeline do you expect that to actually occur on? Some have said as early as in the next couple of months. Certainly many are talking about the prospect of the release by the end of 2019. Do you have any views on this matter?
There were lots of rumors about that, but I think it's very hard to predict the exact timeline because lots of infrastructures to build, lots of rules and governance issues to be related, and it's actually related to lots of thousands of banks, 1.4 billion people. So we don't think the whole system will get ready in short time, but we see maybe in the early next year, but it's really hard to predict this.
Yeah, certainly it is a hard one to predict, as we even saw with this announcement. The Chinese government doesn't seem afraid to bring these decisions relatively out of the blue and move forward rapidly. But do you think, I mean, and you already touched on this, but just to go a little deeper into the topic, do you think the Chinese government is responding to Libra with this latest action? Do you think that this timeline and push for blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies is being driven as a response specifically to Libra?
I think the Libra is the key driver of this whole action. And previously, we know that currently the global currency system is actually controlled by, we would say, controlled by US dollar and the SWIFT system, CHAP system, but blockchain technology definitely bring a new perspective to this new kind of a whole new system. That's a new opportunity for China. So definitely this is the key driver of Libra.
It certainly does seem to be a powerful key driver. But speaking of those sort of key drivers in the marketplace, and you touched on this as well, but we saw in the wake of President Xi's announcement that massive price surge in Bitcoin. Now, some have speculated, many have speculated that that is as a result of President Xi's statements, but others say that it was other factors in the market. There were fundamentals there that weren't relevant to the Chinese announcement. What is your take from there in Beijing that says that there was that direct link, that President Xi made the statement and people just started flooding money into the market? Do you agree with that analysis?
From our perspective, the surge of the Bitcoin price is definitely the result of President Xi's announcement. But currently, the market movement is actually pushed by the money has been into this market, not yet the money from outside the market. We see lots of new money. I mean, namely the institutional money and Chinese people money is coming, but till now, I think the current volatility of Bitcoin price is still driven by the current player in this market. But the surge of the Bitcoin price is actually the result of President Xi's announcement. We see after a few hours of President Xi's announcement, after the clearance of the recent quarterly contracts, the price surged. So that's that's actually a direct result. Mm-hmm. But yes, you are right that lots of other money, I mean, newcomers are still coming in the way because in China, it's not very easy to buy Bitcoin.
So that's an important point there, because China has famously had a blockchain but not Bitcoin approach. Do you think there's any chance that that could change and the government could come to embrace Bitcoin in some way?
Yes, we noticed that recently lots of announcements or China's regulators mentioned that there should be some strict measure to stop Bitcoin OTC trading in China, but surprisingly, we didn't see lots of actions coming. This may be a signal that China's regulators has admitted that a status quo of Bitcoin, and to embrace the adoption like payments in China is still too far away to go before the digital RMB could fully be adopted. Afterward, the digital RMB, digital CNY, the real legal currency is supported by the government. And Bitcoin, we see lots of formal government officers commenting on this, but not yet from the current government officers. Only those formal one, like a VP of CSRC, he commented that China is actually the major production country of Bitcoin, but still no clear side from these people on this.
Right. I mean, and that is a fact that China still has the vast majority of mining, Bitcoin mining operations by hashing power exist inside China. Do you think there's any risk that the government might move to close those down or to take control in any way, shape or form of mining operations? Or do you think that those operations will be able to continue moving ahead as they are now?
China's officers have been talking about this kind of shutdown of the mining industry for a long while. But I think after last Friday's announcement, this mining industry in China will be encouraged rather than stopped. So I think it's a good sign for mining industry in China.
It certainly sounds like there are some optimistic prospects there inside China for the future of blockchain technology, potentially for Bitcoin as well, or even for cryptocurrencies as a whole. But as you say, there's still a lot of work to be done. One announcement does not make a full policy. Lots still to be done. But Flex, Yang, I want to thank you so much for joining us from Beijing to help us break down this critical story. There's going to be so much to talk about in the days, weeks, months, and possibly years ahead, and we'll be covering it all on BLOCKTV. So stay with us at blocktv.com for all the latest news and information. I'm Asher Westrop Evans. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.